Alright, what's up? I'm Andrew from the band Ripped to Shreds, and I co-run a record label called Nameless Grave. And today I'm here with
Brandon. I also run Nameless Grave Records, and I play in a whole bunch of bands like Serpent Rider, Drawn and Quarter, Drag Car. I did live vocals once or twice for this moron's anime grindcore band.
But most importantly, we are starting
a festival!
Our fest is called Soldiers of Steel. Basically, we decided to throw away a bunch of money.
And we didn't actually this time. We actually broke even, but we were ready to throw away a lot of money.
I mean, so this festival was mainly your idea.
So I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I moved to Washington a few years ago. I grew accustomed to there being all of these amazing festivals because people like Dan Dismal, Kim at Born for Burning would throw on these local festivals. And when I moved up to Washington, there's nothing that is a regular festival for heavy metal specifically.
Those of you who follow Ripped to Shreds might also have noticed that a couple weeks ago, we were supposed to play in Toronto. And we didn't. And that is because this guy from Toronto tried to put on a fest and a bunch of like one-day fest-style shows. And I guess about 3 days before we were supposed to play, he crashes out publicly and says that he's $80,000 in debt and he's canceling everything.
We took a big risk, but we did not lose any money this year, which is insane.
Okay, so what is step number one?
We gotta figure out what we actually want to do at the festival. What sort of bands do we want to play? Where do we want to do it? Yeah, you have to go in with a plan.
We want to build our festival around some band that everyone in the surrounding area is willing to travel to see, willing to shell out, $100 or whatever for a 2-day ticket. Or do we want to try and pick a venue, take place at Substation or Barboza or whatever? Which comes first?
You're not going to be able to get headliners for a first-year festival without a venue. But unless you're really good friends with the venue, you're probably not going to be able to get a venue without headliners. And so you have to kind of do them both at the same time. We got really lucky this year in that we're good friends with Substation because I've played there a number of times. Have you played there, Andrew?
No, I think Seattle I've only played Northwest Terror and then Bremerton, yeah.
I asked Substation before we actually approached any headliners, okay, would you guys be interested in hosting a festival? I have a good relationship with Substation. I've played there multiple times with Serpent Rider.
So really the first step is to have pre-existing relationships with the bands.
Half of our headliners and co-headliners were bands on Nameless Grave Records or that we've worked with extensively. And the ones that weren't, obviously we didn't do this alone. We did this with Northwest Metalworks and with Babefinder General, which is Amy from Solicitor. Amy rehearses right down the hall from Q5. So Amy just asked Scott, hey, do you want to play this festival because of that existing relationship?
So how do we promote Soldiers of Steel? We have the headliner. Did you contact Mike first from Slavig or Leather?
I called Mike. I might have texted him, but I think I called Mike and I was just like, hey, I'm starting a festival with some friends in Seattle. And he was like, yes, because Mike's really cool and easygoing. For Leather specifically, for that Chastain set, I had just seen Leather in Germany at Keep It True Rising. And it turned out that Leather lives in San Francisco these days. She has a backing band now, which is Silver Talon in Portland. And so we were able to make it work.
We have our lineup. How do we promote this show in Seattle?
Obviously, social media. We sent out all of our friends with flyers, like from FedEx or wherever they could print flyers, just sending them out, stapling on telephone and utility poles. So we put up flyers everywhere. We posted on Facebook constantly, promoted it via the record label. I did paid social media ads, which is sort of a money pit, but it helps.
How many decibel ads do we take out?
We didn't take out any big decibel ads until the last one, which was a half page.
Right.
We did 3 decibel ads. I did a lot of flyering at shows, print out a big stack on my own printer and then cut them up with my paper cutter. Little handbill sized flyers that I would hand out at shows that I was playing or even just shows I was going to, or if I saw someone in a cool shirt, it's like, oh, that guy's in a Thundersteel shirt. Hey, I bet you would enjoy this festival. The closer we got, the less people that I approached had not already at least heard of it.
What's the cap of Substation?
I think it's 700 for both rooms, which we did not get anywhere close to hitting.
How much did we end up getting? Like
about 160. We kept a tight budget, so that ended up being at our break even.
Do you know how many out-of-towners we got? Because I know, like, Paul flew in from fucking East Coast.
There was no good way for me to count that, but we had people there from Chicago, from Salt Lake City, from California, Florida. We had people there from, like, Alberta, people driving down from Vancouver, driving up from Portland, obviously.
How well do, like, these true metal shows normally do in Seattle? I live down here in California. When I saw Slaufeg at Bottom of the Hill, I think it was like 60, 70 people maybe. Not a lot more than that.
Sounds about right, unfortunately. Riot Act with Raven with the Alma and Tacoma, and there's 15 people there maybe, and that venue holds 500. When we were touring with Anvil, we played to maybe 80 or 90 at Substation with Anvil. When I saw Slaufeg in Portland last time, there was maybe 120. We have people into heavy metal out here, or else I would not have risked doing this. The problem is a lot of those people, they're not on social media. They do not closely follow the metal scene. They don't always have a way of knowing that these shows are happening. Q5 still has a really deep fan base from back in the 80s. A lot of their fans, they're older, they're not on social media, they're sure as hell not following new metal. Like, how do you get them out? It's hard.
What kind of strategies are we taking for next year to try and reach these graybeards?
Like last year, the biggest promotion that we got was through local radio stations like KEXP and KISW, but we should have been reaching out 6 months earlier to like Seattle Times and to NPR Seattle, and we're doing that in advance right now already through our PR guy, Josh Eldridge.
Have we secured our first headliner yet, or we're still talking to them?
We're still talking to our first. We're going to do 2 headliners. We have some more cool ideas for extra stuff that is a little too early to talk about.
But you can definitely expect me. I'll be there this year.
Yeah. This time, Andrew will be there. Last time, Andrew was too busy getting conned.
Fuck, dude. It's not even about... The worst part about it, for me personally, I know bro lost, a shit ton of money. For me, the worst part is I've never played Toronto with RTS. I'm with the boys. We're all rehearsing, we're all practicing, and we're all like, it's time to go to fucking Toronto. And then bro's just like, nope, sorry. And then it's just like, oh my god, where did all that energy go?
He didn't even tell you, right? He just posted it on Facebook.
Bro from Cancer DM'd me, and I was like, dude, have you seen this on Facebook? And then it was like... And that's how I found out. The promoter didn't even personally DM me until, like, the day we were supposed to get on the flight, saying, oh, sorry, blah, 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 blah. And it was like... And, for us, it's merely a matter of energy and expectations. We have fans that, fly out to see us all the time. I mean, I hope they found out early enough that they could cancel their flights or rebook or whatever. But, there's going to be fans who are traveling out, who got hotels and all that shit, and... The day right after our show was supposed to be like this 2-day fest. All these people are driving out like 8 or 9 hours to go there. Everyone has these travel plans, all the bands, and there were like 30 bands for that festival that knew absolutely nothing about it being canceled until like maybe 2 days before. And the venues. Do you have to pay upfront for the venue?
No, that's typically taken out of your ticket sales.
The venue is depending on your event to happen. For that night's come, they need their cut of the ticket sales. They need their cut of all the alcohol. All their staff is depending on that event to happen. And then when it's just like yanked away 2 days, that's like, you're not just wasting the band's time, you're also wasting the potential money of all these employees.
Well, and all of those people, they're just not getting paid now, and they don't have enough notice to line up anything else. So you just fucked them. The sound guys, the lighting guys, security, bartenders, door staff. I mean, literally everybody at this venue just got screwed.
We didn't go through an independent company for our event staff, right? That was all done through the venue.
Provided by the venue. There's a couple ways you can do that. Some venues will have you provide everybody yourself for an event of that size. Some will give you the option to do whichever, to mix and match. One of the reasons I wanted to do it at Substation is because they hire good people.
Along with Amy, along with James and Brian, you guys are going to be running around day of putting out fires. What are some of the responsibilities that you guys needed to take care of?
It actually really started the day before. Because the night before, I drove to the airport with Amy, pick up Slaufweg from the airport, and then take them to their hotel. And that depends how you're doing your volunteers or how you're spending your money, because like a Maryland Death Fest, it wasn't Ryan and Evan showing up at the airport to pick us up. There was a shuttle picking up some of the band. For us, with the scale of our event, it was us doing it ourselves or reimbursing bands for Ubers or cabs. The day of, the first thing that I did to Sir, I picked up the drum kit.
This is SIR. This is where we rented the drum kit for the main stage. This dog is a very important part of the gear rental process.
Then I drove to the venue. I backlined one of the stages myself. And by myself, I mean a mixture of stuff donated to me by my bandmates as well as by Solicitor. So I backlined my own guitar cab, my own guitar head. My other guitarist and Serpent Rider, Paul, also backlined his guitar head and guitar cab. Our bassist, Brian, backlined his bass head. Solicitor's bassist backlined his bass cab. Then we paid for this drum kit from Sir that we used for the main stage, and then the venue, in this case, had a backline that they were able to provide for the other stage, which is not necessarily typical. A lot of venues do not have a backline. Thankfully, Substation has a full backline available.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised when I started playing bigger shows. A lot of big venues actually don't have house kits or house cabs. We're kind of used to it from DIY shows or small shows. It's like just a given that there's going to be some kind of house kit or house cab.
We loaded in all the food. I had hit Costco the day before and picked up hundreds of dollars worth of food for the green room.
Did we have any brown M&M requests?
The strangest food request that we got this year was vegan and gluten-free, which we were going to provide anyway. We got lucky. Everyone was really easy this year. It was really, no difficult bands, no difficult people in general. The bands all being nice and easy to work with is not guaranteed.
I think it's usually guaranteed that there's at least one asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Something that a lot of big festivals do is they will have a festival-provided merch seller. In exchange for that, they take some percentage. And they don't let bands sell their own merch. Northwest Terror, they let you sell your own merch and they don't take any cuts. Obscene Extreme, they will sell your merch for you and take no cuts. I mean, I tip the sellers. How do we run our merch stuff?
We did the typical fest thing where we provided booths that were ran by merch people, and then we took a small cut. And the reason we decided to do that, Substation does not have enough room to let all of these bands, because we had 18 bands across the weekend in 2 days, 8 bands one day, 10 bands the other day. Having that many merch booths is not realistic. It just takes up too much space at festivals. Most bands don't want to do their own merch. They want to watch the bands, they want to walk around, especially the bigger bands, anyone flying in, they don't want to be stuck out there on the floor getting harassed by fans. Nobody had a problem with us taking a merch cut because they don't want to be standing there the entire night. They're happy to fuck off and enjoy the festival. Problem is, when you let bands set up their own merch, they're going to take up an entire table if you let them expand. And so we told bands, only bring a couple shirt designs, try to keep it light, and then we will sell merch. So that, because then instead of trying to fit in a bunch of people behind a single table, we just had a couple of people total. My wife and Serpent Rider singer, Arvalar, we had her running merch both nights for the headliners, co-headliners, and usually direct support, and maybe whoever was billed just under direct support. So she'd be running for 3 or 4 bands, but she could do that by herself for a couple of tables, and it would have been a lot more logistically difficult to have 4 people behind those couple of tables than just her running around.
Twisted is the band that traveled the furthest for our fest, right?
Yes, originally it actually was supposed to be Heir Apparent because their singer, Harry Conklin, he was flying in from Greece to do the festival. Fortunately, the band's drummer quit before the festival, and so they had to drop off. And so with him dropping, we replaced them with Twisted Tower Dyer from Virginia. Obviously, we've worked very closely with them with the record label, and Serpent Rider just played with them at Stormbringer Metal Festival, RAP.
Wait, that one already went out of business?
They did 3 years and then they called it quits. I mean, running a festival is a nightmare. It's awful. It's very rewarding once it actually happens, but it's awful.
What sort of shit tasks are you going to put on me this year? Doing all the video?
I am definitely going to have you edit all the videos again.
Fuck.
Keep an eye out on the Nameless Grave Records YouTube channel because I'm making Andrew edit together all of the videos from the one night that we did record.
We'll get the headliners on this show.
Oh, that would be good. actually, if they're willing to. That's the thing with headliners is the really big leagues guys are pretty busy, and we're trying to expand the festival next year. We are going to spend another straight up like half of our budget, more than half of our budget from this year on top.
So we pulled 160 this year, and we've got to pull minimum 240.
I'm aiming for 300, I think. So we talked with a lot of people this year, and everybody had an amazing time. The one complaint that people had was ticket prices. A lot of the reason they were high is because we chose to do this at a very, very nice venue rather than the traditional heavy metal festival approach, which is put it in a bad part of town in a warehouse or something so that you can keep your costs down. And we'd fed all the bands, which, I mean, Andrew, how many festivals have you played outside of the really big ones that fed not just the headliners, but all of the bands, like dinner?
I'm sure it's just the big fests that have done that.
Nobody does that, but we did it. We fed all of the bands.
We want the bands to be happy.
Shout out to Joe Schaefer and Northwest Terror Fest, who are the smallest festival I'm aware of that did that. Joe is a really big resource, as were some of our other festival organizer friends, for just picking their brains.
Shout out Colony Drop. We also put them out.
But Joe was telling me the entire year, like, bro, you gotta feed all the bands. And I was like, fuck no, that's crazy. I played 1 million festivals. Very few have fed all the bands. I mean, Maryland Death Fest fed all the bands, but Maryland Death Fest is massive.
Did Not Sketch feed you?
Yeah, no, Never Surrender did feed us. But that's Europe.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Europe is a different animal. They have all these fucking socialist-ass municipal government grants where they actually support the arts, unlike fucking America.
It's crazy. If you are in a band, you should try to play Europe so that you can be depressed every time you tour in the United States. But so Joe was telling me all year, you gotta feed the bands. And I was like, fuck you, Joe, I'm not doing that. Well, we ended up doing that, and it was 100% the right call. And so I sent up a text like, hey, I gotta eat some crow. Because you were 100% right, and we are always going to feed the bands. But so next year we're going to cut ticket prices a little, so we need to get even more people in there to break even.
What hints can we give about the lineup next year?
I would say expect a lot more out-of-town bands, and expect bigger bands in general. A lot of bands this year that would have played, or that did play the Annex stage, next year if they were playing again, which they're not, because we're not going to do any repeats just yet, they'd be playing the main stage, which is the smaller room.
Here's some highlights from our fucking festival.